110 Design never shies away from making interesting gadgets and accessories, so today we're curious and excited to take a closer look at their new Mountie, which is an accessory that allows you to multitask on your laptop. It's designed for MacBooks, such as a MacBook Pro or the Air, and it's this interesting clip that attaches onto the side, so it's on the bezel part, and it can hold an iPad or also your smartphone, so you can use a multi-monitor setup with a companion app to extend the monitor on your product, or you can also multitask and take a quick glance when you need to at missed notifications, calls, or text messages. You can position it in multiple orientations, and it comes in two colors, one which is blue that you see here, and one which is also green, and both models sell for $25 on the company's website, and they have a bit more of description on their website as well that you can check out in the links down below. So let's take a closer look at the packaging here and what you get in the box. So this is what it looks like. Same size as the Pogo Connect Smart Stylus that we also reviewed a few weeks back. So you can see here this is an easy way to attach, again, a second display onto your MacBook, and has a grip that should hold the product into place fairly tightly because it's made out of the soft touch material. Here's everything that you get in the box. We have the Mountie itself. We'll take a closer look at the design in a second. And there's also these adjustable clips, which you can get a different width for the actual mounting part. So depending on the size of your computer, so if you have a newer MacBook or an older one, obviously it's going to have a different thickness. Same thing with the phone or the tablet that you're trying to attach. So in order to accommodate for that, they have these different sizes of rubber stoppers so that you can easily remove from the sides of the Mountie and then pop in a new one when you need to. So for instance, I can remove, let's say, this side, and I just kind of pull on it with a bit of force, and you can see that I can then insert another sized clip if I want a thicker overall portfolio. There's also a 3M tape if you want to mount it more permanently on the sides of your computer, and also comes with a quick start guide that tells you a bit more about how to change the grips, as well how to get a fine-tuned fit, how to test it, and tells you a bit more of which size to use depending on what product you're trying to attach onto the sides of your computer. So these are all soft touch, again, rubber material. And if we go back to the Mountie itself, you can see that's fairly portable and easy to take with you, so you can remove it and then put it in a backpack as well when you're traveling or on the go. The very top here features the company's logo, and it's also made out of this soft touch rubber material. The clips are made out of this more smooth plastic. The arm on the back here sits on the sides of the display, which distributes the weight a little bit more in addition to the clip, so it's going to be able to stick onto the side of the computer without falling loose, and still support the weight of something such as an iPad. So overall, it's pretty nicely designed. Again, the clips folds open for you to attach, your device in here, and then when it folds down, you can see that it presses down as well, so it prevents the product from falling loose. Same thing with the other side, which clips onto the monitor, and then this side, for instance, holds your phone or your tablet. So pretty clever design and pretty simple as far as how it operates. Next, we have the Mountie attached to the side of a Toshiba laptop. It's not a MacBook, but you can see that it still stays in place and the ergonomic works. Obviously, if you're using a third-party laptop, it's not going to be as guaranteed for the fit, but you can see for the most part it does work pretty well. In terms of the design of not obstructing too much of the display or the bezel, you can see it does still block off a portion of the screen, but perhaps this works better on an actual MacBook that this was designed for, although on some models, on ones with thinner bezels, for instance, there's still going to be a small part that might obtrude from the edge of your display, but it doesn't block too much of what you're trying to see. And the phone itself, you can see, just sits off from the side, and depending again on what generation, iPod, iPhone, or let's say an iPad that you have, it's obviously can be adjusted with, again, the rubber stoppers. When you're done with this product, if we want to try a tablet next, for instance, I can just detach this rubber stopper. It actually holds the product in place really firmly, and then since the tablet's probably going to be thicker, we have to exchange out the rubber stopper here. So we're going to unplug this, replace it with probably a slightly thinner one, and here I've swapped it out for a different tablet, and you can see this is how it would look with a larger display attached onto the side. Obviously an iPad will have a larger display, and if you use the iPad Pro, it's also going to be larger. It seems okay in terms of the weight distribution because of this longer arm. Everything is still supported, it doesn't really wobble, and it stays in place quite well. I can interact with content, and again, there are many apps that you can download now which allows you to transform your tablet even the iPad into a secondary monitor wirelessly with your Mac or your Windows computer. So it just becomes a second display so you can extend your functionality when you're doing work and multitasking. So that's been a closer look and first impressions review of the Mountie by 110 design. Overall, it's a really nice accessory if you do plan on using your iPad or your iPhone for multitasking purposes when you're working, whether it's just for a quick glance for missed notifications, or if you're actually using your iPad as a secondary display companion for your work, it could be quite useful. It actually stays in place pretty well, and although it's really advertised to work only with Apple's MacBook series of laptops, I did find that it did tend to also work with a lot of Windows computers I tested it with. It's not the most elegant solution in every single scenario because it does block a portion of your display both on the iPad and your computer when you're working, but for the time being it is actually a pretty clever solution, and it's a lot more portable than bringing along another, perhaps a stand for your iPad, and it also makes the two displays parallel so you can see it at once at this really nice tilted angle. So thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews. This was a closer look at the 110 design Mountie.